Hey guys, David Patrick Green, davidpatrickgreen.com, hackhollywood.com, actorpower.com. Today's topic is a question that I get a lot, and I've seen it discussed a lot, and it makes sense that it's on our minds. And the question is, when you get an audition, do you need to know every single word? Do you need to memorize every single word? And what happens if you don't? So it is a great question, and the answer is actually quite simple. It depends. It really depends on who you ask. So that really should be an indication right there of that you really should trust yourself more than what anybody else says. One individual doesn't really know. But the truth of the matter is this. Why you book a part and why you don't book a part, there could be a million different reasons. And even the people that hire you probably can't explain exactly why you booked a part or why you didn't book a part. But getting back to the question of should you memorize the words, well, the question is, why would it matter? What impact is it going to have on your audition and whether you book or don't book a job? So I would say, in my experience, and I have done hundreds of professional auditions for hundreds of different TV shows and different movies, and overall, the exact words don't really matter. I'm not saying you should go in there and improvise. You should try to learn the words. But understand that even though people will tell you that the writers wrote the words, so they want you to say them, this isn't Shakespeare, okay? These words haven't been entombed for 500 years. These words could have changed 5 minutes before you got them, and they could have changed since you got them. So the writers, nobody is really attached to the words the way they would be to a play that is iconic. You know, some type of Arthur Miller play or Shakespeare or Shaw. Those are iconic plays. It's iconic material that you would never dream of changing because it would change the way it sounded to the audience. Those are very wordy, carefully worded plays and movies. You know, you don't change The Godfather, but you're not remaking The Godfather. If they remade The Godfather, they probably would change the words for it because it wouldn't be contemporary anymore. So you've got to ask yourself, what is it you're doing? If you're auditioning for a play, fine. You've got to get the words right because you can't really improvise. But if it's TV or movies, then the words don't really matter because they're changing constantly. It's a very fluid, medium. They're changing it right up until the moment you get onto the set. In fact, I have a great example of that. I got an audition and they just wanted to see clips. They didn't even want to give me sides because they're so secretive. Then they finally gave me material and I did it. And they said, okay, great, you booked the job. You're flying to another city. Then they changed the material the day before I flew out. And when I landed and I got off the plane, they had changed it all over again. So in the space of 2 days, they had changed the material 3 times. And the sense of the material had changed yet again by the time I got to the set. So it can change constantly. So despite what casting directors, acting teachers, or whoever else you might ask might say you need to get the words right because the writers can be attached to them, I'd say they're a lot more attached to your performance, and that's what you should focus on. I really can't imagine not getting a job if you're exactly what they're looking for and you get a few of the words wrong. That wouldn't make any sense to not hire you because they know that you just got the material, like who knows how long ago, minutes, hours, whatever. And even on the day of the shoot, you could still get the words wrong, and the script supervisor will come up to you and they'll say, you see these words? It's then he stabbed him, not then he was stabbed. You know, that's literally the kind, and all they're asking is that you try to get it right, and then if you get it right, great, and sometimes they'll just leave it the way it is, even if it's not exactly the way it was written. Okay, so guys, I don't want you to take this stuff too seriously. Like, I've got to get the words right. The only people who think that are people that are actually trying to cover their own butts. Okay, so imagine this. If you're a casting director or a casting assistant, even more so, or a casting associate, and you may not have dealt with the producers directly, or maybe you think it's important that you try and get the actors to do the words exactly as written. Otherwise, maybe you think producers will be mad at you and somehow hold you responsible. So in that case, you want the actors to get the words right. But they don't really know that that's going to happen, that they'll get fired or something if the actors get the words right. They're just figuring, well, I might as well get the actor to get the words right, because if they do, then at least, even if they do a terrible acting job, it's not my fault. It's the actor's fault. But if they get the words wrong, the producers might think it's my fault because I didn't give them the right words, or because I didn't make them do it again and get the words right. So do you see what's going on here? There's a lot of CYA, covering your ass, going on when you get certain advice. So you have to ask yourself, is the advice there to benefit you, or is it to benefit somebody else? And the intention may not be that they're trying to throw you off. It's just they never really have thought about it this way. And that's why I'm telling you this stuff, because I'm an actor, okay? And I have worked on these projects, and I know how seriously some people can take the words very seriously and others not. And so, you know, it really, there is no rule of thumb. You ask 1,000 people, you probably get 1,000 different answers. But you really want to be asking the people that write the stuff, the people that produce the stuff, the people that make it. You don't want to ask the middlemen in between. You don't want to ask your agent, hey, do I need to get all the words right? Because your agent's going to say, yeah, you probably should. Or I don't know, maybe they'll say, no, it doesn't matter. The thing is, there is no right answer. The only answer is the one that comes from the person who's actually making the decisions. But overall, put yourself in their shoes, okay? If you are a producer or a writer and you are looking to fill this part, and you know that every time you try to fill a part, it's very difficult, right? You can imagine, how do you find the right person? And you may never find the right person. You have to settle. That's why, you know, the offer went out to Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise declined it. So now it's going out to Liam Neeson. It's going out to Brad Pitt. It's going out to Denzel Washington. And, you know, they're all turning it down, and then they're just like, well, I need an A-list person, but this person really wasn't ideal, not exactly what I was hoping for, but they did a good job. You know, there's a lot of imperfection in the business. And why do you think they shoot things 10, 20, 30 different times? I mean, just like the words aren't written in stone, neither is the performance. They're trying to find their way. You know, there's a before, there's an after, there's 50 scenes on either side of your scene, and each one of those is fluid. So to get caught up in the idea that you need to get the words 100% right, or, you know, you should just blow your brains out, is ridiculous. It's not something you should stress over. And anyone who says otherwise doesn't really understand the process from the producer's perspective, or they may understand the process, but they're trying to protect themselves, okay? Because everybody's got their little fiefdom, right? Everybody's like, this is my silo and I'm trying to protect it. So anyone who comes in and interferes with it, I'm going to maybe give them information that's going to protect my little silo, my little fiefdom. So you just got to ask yourself, guys, what makes the most sense? If you're a writer and somebody gets 90% of the words right and they're amazing for the part, are you going to go, no, find somebody else who can get the words right? Or are you going to go, that guy was amazing? And if you wrote this 3 days ago, then you changed it 2 days ago, and you changed it again 30 minutes ago, are you even going to notice whether they get the words right? Like, you don't even know what the words are at that point. And you're not following along going, he got a word wrong. He got a word wrong, right? Why would you? It doesn't make any sense, okay? So, guys, don't worry about the words, okay? Improv everything before you perform it, and then once you feel comfortable with the performance, then you throw in their words. And you know what? If you get them right, you get them right. If you get them wrong a little bit, no big deal. Focus on being locked into what you are doing. Let your instincts take you where they need to go. That's what's important, and that's what the people watching it are focusing on. They're not watching somebody trying to, like a school child trying to memorize Shakespeare. To be or not to be, that is the question. Oh, well done. He got the words right. Or do they want the person who's like, to be or not to be? That's a question. You know, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying that's probably a terrible performance of Shakespeare, but do they want the person who's really into it, or do they want the person who just, got all the words right? So just ask yourselves, guys. Most of these questions, if you asked yourselves, you'll probably come up with the right answer. But the way to ask yourself correctly is always to put yourself in the shoes of the people making the decisions, okay? They're the only person that matters, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Please like it, give me a thumbs up, and share it, and let me know you shared, and let me know what you think. You know, write a comment in the section below. Ray William Johnson, whatever the word is, shout out there. So yeah, an homage to Ray William Johnson. And please subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to have a lot more advice that is going to make you guys confident in what you're doing and not wonder if, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Okay, guys? I mean, I have a million tricks up my sleeve, and the stuff I do with my private clients, it's shocking. I get people to rewrite articles in Hollywood Reporter, various publications. I help people with their billing. I help people with everything, okay? And the one thing I've found is that the more you are clear on what you want, the easier it is to get it, okay? So don't be focused on the words. Focus on being yourselves, given the facts. That's all you need to focus on. I'll talk to you soon.